Hey everyone, it's Fred Staub and Les Jackson, and we are here with a bunch of stories to talk about, new models and, well, a lot of technology, Les. And we're going to start off this week with JD Power with their new satisfaction index study. Interesting information
Yeah,
on that.
a little surprising to me, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. What do you got?
Well, Lexus is bringing out its first three-row SUV in the U.S. market. That's a biggie.
Well, they're building it in the
They're
U.S.
building
market.
it. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, bring out.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool, and the first big SUV built here for them. So that's
That's
a
right.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know that, but it's interesting. And then Ford has new models on the way for Bronco and Maverick. We'll tell you what the thinking is there, what might be going on. And then we Polestar had Polestar Day. You know how Tesla has Tesla Day, and
Right. Right.
yeah, they released a lot of new technology. It's a big talking tech segment for us, including 100 miles of charge in 5 minutes for electric vehicles.
That's hmm, boy, that's a lot of current flow flowing through the electric box. And speaking of electric box, Fred, we're going to
Yes.
do an As the Tesla Turns.
Oh boy.
Not good news. Big depreciation and wrong airbags swapped.
Yeah, what happened is people that got that stupid yoke steering wheel switched out.
Yeah.
They forgot to put the right airbag in, and some people have the wrong airbag in their steering wheel.
Yep.
Yeah, so there you go. That's fun. All that and more. We got plenty more too. We're also going to talk about the upcoming LA Auto Show. Some reveals set to go there, and in the second hour, Ram has revealed the Ram Charger. Les, they're calling this an unlimited range EV because basically it works like the Chevy Volt, not Bolt,
Right.
Volt, and it charges the battery. It has a V6 engine specially modified
Onboard
to.
generator. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So very interesting and big horsepower too. So that will really delve into that. Honda's bulking up its Ridgeline. We'll talk about that. And the GMC Cruise division. Now, we're not talking about Cruise, the Chevy Cruise. We're talking about their self-driving cars, and they spent $1.9 billion on this operation. They no longer run anywhere. They just basically stopped using them because there was an accident where someone got dragged in San Francisco, and so I my big question will be really, can manufacturers do self-driving cars and transition to electric vehicles at the same time? My feeling is they
Yeah.
can't.
I don't think you can. I think I applaud them for both technologies, but they're both extremely complicated, extremely expensive, and the public, isn't is really not ready for such rapid phase in of things. And yeah, I think we'll see this with a number of different manufacturers. They'll just say, "All right, we're going to put this on the back shelf here, back burner."
Yeah, and you'll see things. It won't be the full self-driving, but you will see more vehicles with lane change capability and
Right.
things like that. Like Blue Cruise and Super Cruise and Ultra Cruise and all that. But I don't think driverless taxis or trucks or anything like that are going to be around
No,
anytime soon.
not soon.
Yeah, so that's a lot to get to, and there'll be a whole lot more too, including I'm going to have an at the wheel review of the Equinox RS. fun little crossover that I put through its paces, and a lot of Camaro styling there. They pick up with the RS trim kit, and that's really nice. And had a good time spending a week in this vehicle. We'll tell you about it and do a full at the wheel review. So fun stuff coming up on Cruise Control. Stay tuned. Les and I will be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Co-hosts Fred Staub and Les Jackson. Control. Everything you need to know about new and used cars. Control. Industry news. We'll fix or repair your car on the air. Control. Fasten your seatbelts and let us take the wheel. Now, your ride is about to begin. Control. Because you're on Cruise Control. Cruise Control. Cruise Control.
That's right, it's time, and welcome to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub, and he is none other than Les Jackson. How you doing, Les Jackson?
That would be me. Very good, Fred. How about you?
All right, everything is great, and we've got a lot to get to, and we're going to get started this hour with J.D. Power's U.S. Sales Satisfaction Index study. It's got some great analysis, and we find out that a smaller percentage of buyers are paying above MSRP, and that is good news.
That is very good news, and it's about time. And speaking of about time, Lexus is now building here in the U.S. Its first three-row luxury SUV in the U.S., and that's cool. It's going to be big.
And yeah, it will be a big deal, and it will be big.
It's big in every sense of the word.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to tell you about some new models of the Bronco and of the Maverick. And a lot of people are asking, will there be an all-wheel drive hybrid version? Well, stay tuned and find out.
That's right. And we have some talking tech about Polestar. They're holding their first Polestar Day event, which is kind of cool. We don't have Polestars, so we didn't go. But details aplenty of new tech, including charging your EV in about the same time as it takes to fill your vehicle with gas, which is like 5, 6, 8 minutes.
Something like that. And also, we're going to have a As the Tesla Turns segment. including big depreciation. You and I have been talking about this. People buy the electric vehicles. They don't have a lot of range right now, and they depreciate, and people are losing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. We'll tell you about an interesting article that talks about that big depreciation, especially when it comes to Tesla. Also, wrong airbag swaps. Remember when Tesla put in that yoke steering wheel?
Yep. So
and people
wrong steering wheel, wrong airbag.
Yeah. So that's a problem. But all that and more when we get rolling on this edition of Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. I'm Fred Staub. He is Les Jackson. And we want you to check us out on all our social media outlets. Check out our Cruise Control Radio YouTube page and our Facebook page and more. It's all there, Cruise Control. All right, when we come back, we're going to delve into this J.D. Power study, look at, some good news, actually, for the industry. So stay tuned to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. This is still your automotive magazine of the air, and Fred and I are going to go right into the J.D. Power statistics on customer satisfaction. We hope you're one of the customers who's satisfied.
Just one of them.
Or hopefully not dissatisfied. Good news, though. for the industry. It looks like the overall score for satisfaction, which by the way is 1,000 point scale, and the overall score is 793,
Out of a
um,
thousand.
which doesn't sound great, but it was 786 a year ago, and I believe the year before that even a little bit lower. So people are more satisfied with their purchases for internal combustion engine vehicles,
Right.
but not quite uh, as satisfied as EVs, electric vehicles. Probably price. What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, it's price, and it's also that the dealership's salesperson expertise is very low when it
It's
comes
low.
to.
That's right.
Yeah, I remember someone went to buy a couple of years ago a Golf, electric Golf, and the guy's like, "What do you want that for? Isn't that the one you have to plug it in?" So instead of looking at their phone, maybe read up
Yeah,
on it a little bit
could learn something. Right.
while no one's in the store. It's a good time to learn a little bit. But one of the key findings here, Les, I like this a lot. A smaller percentage of buyers are paying above MSRP, and it's due to the inventory improving. Many dealers are finding it harder to charge more than the suggested price for vehicles. Uh,
Well, good.
and and that's good. And we always say, if you're looking for a specific vehicle, you can go on the manufacturer's website, find it, and you click on inventory, and you can tell right away who's charging a markup or not. You know, and don't go to those places that are charging a markup. Better yet, call them. I was really interested in this car, and I was coming to your dealership, but I looked on the XYZ site, and I see you're charging over stickers, so I don't go to those stores.
Yeah. So you've lost the sale unless you're willing to cut the price.
Right, and that's good. The study finds just 15% of mass market buyers paid over MSRP. That's a decrease from 25% in 2022. And that's terrible it ever got that high.
Well, it is. Now, certain vehicles always carry, an add-on because they're super desirable. Usually, performance vehicles or
Like
just
this one.
like like that one.
Yeah, the Demon
Yeah, the
170.
demon.
Yeah, one dealership is charging $250,000 over the sticker price.
Okay, that's the dealership that I would check with your attorney.
Yeah.
But if you went on social media and just said, "Hey, everybody, why don't we all get together and not buy anything from this dealership for a while
Yeah.
and see if they change their tune?" I don't believe that's illegal.
No.
I don't believe it's restraint of trade, but it could be in your state.
It's sort of like
Um,
a review, like,
right,
you know.
right.
So satisfaction with price improves, but remains below pre-pandemic levels. So that's trending the right way. Notable gaps in salesperson expertise.
Yeah.
Um, Remember, a lot of times, not always the case, but a lot of times they're there for a couple of weeks or a month and then doesn't work out and then they're gone, right?
Well, that's right, and it's really the worst um, drain on dealerships because you have to have salespeople there all the time, and you're basically just hiring somebody to be there to greet people and hopefully write up a sale. And unfortunately, there's not a huge amount of training going on with a lot of dealerships, and you kind of get what you pay for. It's
Always.
a tough job too. It's really a tough job.
Yeah. Well, I know we have friends that were buying a vehicle, and I won't mention the names of the brands, but They said one place they went into, the guy didn't want to give them the time of day. They were like, they're interested buyers. And then another
Wow.
place, the guy knew everything about the vehicle, could say, here's how it differs from some of its competitors, and he was really good. I'd rather buy from him just because, you know. Anyway, we'll be right back with more Cruise Control after this. Plenty more coming up, more JD Power and other things. Stay tuned.
Cruise Control.
And welcome back to Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Fred Staub and Les Jackson, we are with you, and we're going through the J.D. Power study, the recent J.D. Power study that ranks the brands highest among premium brands and your everyday brands. It's called the Sales Satisfaction Index, or SSI study. We told you about some of the results. People not crazy about how the salespeople are not up to speed on EVs. And there are also more people are paying under MSRP or at MSRP than in the past. And inventory levels are back up or getting back up to normal, right?
They are, and it's finally showing. Things are stabilizing again. So this is all good. And of course, the highest ranking brand with premium brands is Porsche. Well, you
Yeah,
kind of expect that
yeah, yeah. Um,
with 840 out of 1,000.
yep. And then,
But right below them is Infinity.
yep, that's pretty interesting. And when it comes to mass market cars, Chevrolet scored very well, which is
Yeah,
good.
how about that?
Yeah. Um, and then in SUV minivan category, it was GMC that scored well.
Honestly, I never think of GMC. I just don't. But obviously, a lot of people do.
Yeah. Well, I think they've tried to differentiate themselves more from Chevy in the
Yeah,
last
they
couple of
do.
years, and they have some special models and things. So it is certainly has a premium, panache to it. I'll say that. How's that?
Yeah.
So interesting study though from the folks at JD Power. Now let's talk about Lexus, Les, because Lexus is now going to build a large SUV in the U.S. for the first time. And a lot of people probably don't realize that they've been building their vehicles in Japan and shipping them here, their large SUVs. But now the first ever Lexus TX will be built in Indiana. And they put $803 million worth of investment into this Indiana plant. And this is going to be a big three-row vehicle, high end, and it is good news for the people in Indiana, right?
Well, it is. Toyota now has 12 factories in the U.S.
Wow.
of various types. Some are like component factories, but that's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. And I know you know this, but we'll tell our audience this. When they build a plant, there's like something like 200 other companies that come along with it that
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
be, because of just in time inventory, they have to be within 20 miles. So you really can build up the economy in an area when you do this, when
They,
you
yeah,
bring in a
they,
plant.
they really can. Lots of people even move into the area because their jobs for, a typical plant like this probably have ancillary jobs for 5,000 people.
Yeah, yeah. So Lexus TX built in the U.S. and interesting. I think a lot of people just did not realize that. So let's talk a little bit about what might be coming up for new models for the Ford Bronco and Maverick. I tell you, if they could just build more Mavericks, they could sell them.
Yeah. Oh, they certainly could. They certainly could. They just wouldn't that a wonderful problem to have though? You can't build them fast enough.
Right, you've got people walking in, lining up with cash in hand, saying, "Got a Maverick? I'm ready to go here," and they're like, "No, we don't." um, so this was from Car Buzz, and there was a lot of talking back and forth. This was first reported in Ford Authority, and they're looking at new models of the Bronco and the Maverick, and there's some talk about a Maverick Lightning electrified version, like a plug-in hybrid or a full electric version. They don't know. They're going to have some new versions of the Bronco, and they are Work, which will be a stripped-out model targeting commercial sectors like Rangers and things like that. Premium and Heritage variants, right? The premium is
Right.
luxury, high-end leather, extra luxuries, perhaps more soundproofing. And then they're going to bring back the Heritage version, which has done well. I've never seen one of those. They're pretty rare
Yeah, I
birds.
haven't seen one either, but because they don't make many. But what do you think? You think the Maverick Lightning probably will be delayed because of the Ford, the F-150 Lightning?
Yeah, I think so. And there's no determination on what it's going to be, if that will actually happen or not. There could be a Maverick ST, a sporty version. They're kicking
Yep.
around this thing called the Rattler, which we don't. Maybe it could be a Maverick-based SUV, or the Rattler could be a hardcore model. There's a lot of things floating around there. But the big question I think a lot of people want to know is, will there be a hybrid all-wheel drive variant? And I'd like to know that too. I think that would.
That's yeah. I think just because of the demand for the Mavericks, they may Ford may decide to just stick to the stuff that they can get the most sales out of for now, like that, all-wheel drive and other trim models.
Yeah.
Boy, would I like to be the guy, the product manager getting the bonus for the
Well,
Maverick.
they may not be getting the bonus if they can't meet demand. So
That's true.
I think that's one plant to build up and get more output out of it, because this is just a super popular vehicle. It's designed to be an inexpensive vehicle, but
Yep.
I don't know what markups are like these days. But we know that that they marked them up tremendously during the pandemic, and that, didn't they?
I think for the most part you can get them order them for MSRP.
But you have to wait a long time, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
sure.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think of this idea of the Bronco work? I kind of like that. I think,
I yeah, I think that's going to have a lot of appeal. Not just for fleet users, but for just people that want basic transportation.
if they make it available, if it's not like a police package Bronco or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. I mean, I could see the Border Patrol buying a ton of these Rangers, but we'll have to see if it's a special operations vehicle or if it is available.
Well,
So
but
we're
couldn't
just,
you sell fleet for the like Uber?
what you mean, like, would someone use a Bronco in Uber?
Oh, well, the Bronco Sport, not the Bronco Bronco.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. But interesting. We'll just keep you up to date on that and see what happens when it comes to those models. Popular, and why not? They're going to bring out a lot of variants of that, I'm sure. Let's talk a little bit about Polestar, Les. They had their Polestar Day, and kind of a technology day. Remember when GM used to do this? You and I used to go to these things, and they used
That's
to
right.
bring out all kinds of technology and tell you about it. Well, that's what Polestar has done, and we're gonna kind of delve into that technology as a cruise control talking tech segment when we come back. I'm Fred Staub. He's Les Jackson. We will see you in a moment when we come back, and we'll talk tech. So stay tuned.
control.
Welcome back to Cruise Control. Well, it's Polestar. It's not Polestar Day,
It was
but
yesterday.
we're going to. What is Pol? When? Oh no, it's when is actually Polestar Day?
I believe it was on the 9th
Okay.
in Los
Well,
Angeles.
we missed it.
But we can tell you about it.
We can tell you about it. I think other manufacturers will do this too
Tesla.
in the future.
Tesla does
Um,
it too.
Tesla does it. Letting people know what's going on, what technologies are you developing, that sort of thing. And they talked about a full range of future models. A whole bunch. The Polestar 4, 5, Precept, electric roadster. That ought to be cool.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Um, so they're starting a pilot project to have a virtual power plant for vehicle to grid technology, which we'll talk about shortly.
Yeah.
This is big stuff.
Yeah. Now, vehicle to grid is going to be a very big thing. Um, and if I guess the easiest way to describe it for the audience is it's very much like if you have a solar system on your house and you're providing, you can spin the meter backwards. You can provide energy to the rest of the grid if you're not using it, and you actually get paid for that. So the idea is you would have your charged vehicle sitting there with energy in it, with electricity in it. You say, well, I don't need it. I'm not going out for, tomorrow. I don't plan on going out for tomorrow. And you could basically feed it back to the grid and get paid for it, right?
Right. You're drawing less electricity in your structure, so you're saving money, therefore making money.
Yep.
You don't want to make it. You don't want to run your Polestar dead because then you have to charge it up again. But yeah, this is great. You're not wasting energy,
Right. Because
which
apparently
is
cars
wonderful.
sit there 90% of the time. I never thought about that, but
That's right.
yeah.
It's typical of any car. Way over 90% of the time, it just sits in your driveway.
Yeah. So that's one bit of technology, and it's going to get big. I know in California they're talking about it, and I think we'll see it at other places as well. So, Polestar 4, we're going to talk about their upcoming model, will integrate Luminar LiDAR and Mobileye technology, and it will allow automated driving. I don't know the level of it, but it's one of the first integrated uses of lidar where it's not like a broadcasting tower on top of your roof with spinning globes. This will be integrated into the car, and you won't know it's there, but it will be used as imaging radar to tell where the car is, or if it's going to, to make it avoid some kind of obstacle or pedestrian or someone on a bike or whatever. And we've been talking about this a lot, but really it's never really been integrated into a vehicle. In a sense, it's more been stuff on roof racks and towers and mounted all over the car, which was not
That's
really
right.
ideal for a production vehicle, is it?
Yeah,
So,
that I think we're looking at a kind of a upper level three autonomy there, which is that's the goal is obviously level four,
yeah,
and they're going about it carefully because you don't want to make mistakes. You don't want to have unpredicted or
you,
unpredictable consequences.
right, right.
Yeah. And you need LiDAR is great. It maps exactly what you're seeing.
Hmm. Now, the other thing that they showed, which I think is probably very interesting to a lot of people, on their Polestar 5 prototype, they showed they're working with a company called StoreDot that says they've dubbed this 100 in 5. So 100 miles of range can be obtained in just 5 minutes, and it does not in any way degrade the battery. How about that? So,
That is impressive because the first thing I think of with fast charging is high current density, which is high energy, high heat. And high heat in those situations tends to degrade the actual materials that the current is traveling through.
right.
So you got to watch out for that. But clearly, they're working on a system that prevents that or figure a way around it.
Well, they call it XFC technology. It's sort of a pouch style battery. And actually, there are other companies working on this too. One that will have even greater range in 5 minutes. I think they were talking about 200 miles of range in five
Yeah,
minutes.
that's a real game changer if you can pull that off.
Yeah, and that's where probably you will see this in gas stations. That would
Yeah,
be which will be obviously reconfigured to do this. But um, just think of that. Eventually, you'll probably be able to recharge one of those 900-mile solid state batteries in 5-10 minutes without ever
yeah.
degrading it.
Oh, that day will come.
Yeah, and it's moving quickly. Um, so big news there from Polestar. Interesting brand, the technology brand. Of course, it's part of the Volvo group, and we'll keep you up to date on that. That's kind of a big talking tech, but you look at that emerging technology and you think about that. If people could charge up that quickly, they would. I think it has to be more than 100 miles eventually, and eventually will.
Yeah. But 200 would that would be a deal breaker
Well,
in a good way,
remember what I said too. If you go with what Toyota's talking about, solid state batteries
right?
that get 600, 700 miles of range, you would just top it off with something like this.
Yeah.
And you could go, I mean, if your vehicle has 600-mile range, even if it's a gas powered vehicle or whatever, I mean, unless you're trucking across the US, you probably could just go for a long while without recharging
Well,
it.
yeah. I mean, 600 miles. I'm in Washington. That's here to Boston.
Yeah. And you don't do
I'm
that
not
every day. No.
not likely to drive that
No.
far in a
No.
single day often.
That would certainly be uncommon. Yeah. So interesting stuff and a lot of technology coming out. We will keep you up to date on that on Cruise Control, your on-air automotive magazine. Another interesting bit of news. You and I have talked about this. One of the things that's holding a lot of people back from electric cars is the price. Of course, GM has decided to have a new generation of the Bolt, and they saved a lot of money by doing that, and a lot of people wanted it, so big seller, and they're going to bring it back. Now, Volkswagen is going to launch a sub $35,000, at least at this point, Volkswagen EV, and it will be slightly less expensive than the base ID4 currently on sale, and it will be built in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And it should qualify for tax incentives. But if it's built in Mexico, it could be built in Mexico or it could be built in an upcoming South Carolina plant. If it's built in Mexico, it won't get the discount. I think it's important to get the discount here.
Oh, I think so too. And of course, if it's sold by that dealer that's ripping people off for the Demon, he'll be 35,000 plus another 35,000 for the floor mats.
Right.
Uh,
And
but
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the owner's manual adds $50,000 to it.
that's right.
Yeah, um, so actually, it's interesting that these cars will come out probably built in the U.S. Will they make money for them? Typically, small
Uh,
cars built in the U.S. don't make money, right?
Usually, certainly not until the long run.
Yeah.
Um,
So, well, we will keep you up to date and advised. When we come back, we're going to take an As the Tesla Turns segment, tell you all about it and what you shouldn't be putting on your steering wheel. We'll tell you that too. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration wants you to know this, and we want you to know it. So stay tuned to Cruise Control. I'm Fred Staub. He's Les Jackson. We will be right back.
And welcome back to Cruise Control. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We're coming down to the wire, Fred, but we've got all kinds of a little tidbit that you brought up over the break that I just think is impressive. Is Toyota has sold 300 million vehicles.
Yeah, that is hard to believe. Where
It's just
where do you
that's
park
a
them
lot.
all?
Well,
Yeah,
I think they're all
Corolla.
parked in front of my house.
Corolla is the big leader.
Oh yeah,
You
uh,
know,
that's the longest single brand name ever, I believe.
and you can get a Corolla hybrid that gets like 50 miles to the gallon.
Yeah, and they're quite inexpensive.
That's amazing. Yeah. Yes, they are inexpensive. And by the way, I'm in a sedan, a Nissan Altima this week, and I really enjoyed it.
I had one a couple months back, and yeah, it's a very good car.
Comfortable, nice interior, big
Yep.
trunk, got a lot of stuff in the trunk. Yeah. Anyway, that's not what we're going to talk about this segment. We will certainly be doing an at the wheel review of those vehicles, but we're going to do as the Tesla turns.
Where's the organ? Where's the organ?
Bradley Brownell was writing an interesting article for Jalopnik, and he talked about the depreciation of Teslas and how, I mean, it's pretty massive. He kind of did the math on it, and one Model S Plaid driver lost $4.19 per mile just in depreciation, and basically, it comes from the fact that Tesla decided to go for the volume and slice the prices on these things, and nobody wants to buy a used Tesla for more money than a used Tesla.
That's right.
And, you and I have talked about this before. There's a weird scenario that certain cars are more used than they are new. And I would go back to, I think these early electric cars are going to depreciate dramatically as people realize they can get a much more capable vehicle in the future. So the numbers are incredible.
They really are.
Like a Model S dual motor was originally 104,000, and now the price has dropped to 74,000. Wow, that is
Yeah,
that
that's
is
in 1 year.
one
Uh,
1 year.
so
You
if you
know,
bought one a year ago and you want to buy another one today, you will pay you'll pay uh, $30,000 less for it.
and many people are still paying payments on this thing, and they are
Of course.
completely upside down. Completely upside down. There's another case. The car guru says the average Model Y long range all wheel drive is $46,000 on the used market. The lowest one was 43,000. That's a loss of at least 22,825. I think it pays to
Uh,
lease here, doesn't it?
well, it does. It really does. But I, I just can't. I mean, it sounds like I'm making it up, but I've lost count recently of how many Teslas I see on flatbeds around here. I see them constantly. So that's not a good sign. And
No.
boy, and then you have last year's S, and then you wreck it. The
Right.
insurance, you're going to eat a lot of money. The insurance isn't going to cover uh, probably anywhere near what it costs to repair it.
I know. I know. It's it's terrible.
Yeah.
But also this week, remember when Tesla came out with the idea of, well, we're going to make that yoke steering wheel. We're not going to put the regular steering wheel.
Yeah, we
And,
uh, we
and
made fun of it, but
And do you remember also that even the leather on it was flaking off, and it looked
Hmm.
like a steering wheel that had been, is been in a taxi cab or something. So anyway, people were given the $700 option to switch it back to a regular steering wheel, and it was sold out after a week. Um, but what happened was when the dealers, or not dealers, whatever they call them, the service centers swapped these wheels, some of them didn't put the right airbag in.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
Yes. So there is a safety recall on 159 vehicles where they will go in and free of charge, they will put the correct part in. Isn't that nice of them?
Well, I hope so. Although while you're there, your vehicle has depreciated $3,000. So
Yeah, it's going to take me
it's,
a day to do this, so you're going to lose $3,000.
yeah,
um, so yeah, I don't know, man. It's not good.
I just and the problem is, well, I don't know. I heard an interview with Musk the other night, and he actually believes that all of the rest of us are a virtual reality.
Oh, the simulation theory.
Yeah, no, I mean, he actually believes that, which, man, I hope he's putting people on because that's very
Right.
strange.
The concept is that this is all like some kind of like where
Yeah,
the mice running around the maze,
exactly.
and somebody
But
standing there with a
he's
clipboard.
not a simulation.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Why's that? But I wouldn't. Let's.
Uh,
Why is that?
you,
I don't.
you got me. That's
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Oh boy. All right. So apparently, people are putting stickers and medallions on their steering wheel over the airbag cover, which is
Yeah. I never knew this was going on.
it's like,
Uh,
well, why not just tape a bunch of nails and screws to,
yeah.
to the cover, make it like a Claymore
Yeah.
mine in front of you?
Exactly. So you can go quickly without ever feeling pain.
Well, National
Yeah.
Highway Traffic Safety Administration has released a statement warning drivers about the dangers of aftermarket steering wheel decals and covers. But this happens because a motorist was seriously injured in an accident when an emblem covered in rhinestones was knocked out of place in a crash. Wow, the component hit him in the face and caused him to lose sight in one eye.
Well, of course.
Yeah. Do people actually put like metal
Honestly, I've
with
not. This is the first I've heard that people do this. It's like the old days of J.C. Whitney, where you stuck.
the peel and stick
Uh,
customization? Yeah.
that's right. And they back in the old days, they used to. Everybody wanted a clock in their car, and they used to sell uh, a um, a cheap watch that with adhesive, and you could stick it in the center of your steering wheel.
Wow.
Uh, okay, but you didn't have airbags in
Right.
those cars.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, hey, it's a good thing to let people know. You don't stick things on there. It's designed to burst, and that will come
Yep,
flying out at you like I said, like
at
a bullet.
200 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's like being hit with a bullet, basically. So.
Yep.
So good information there. But we hope you've enjoyed this edition of Cruise Control. Don't forget to check us out on all our social media platforms. Time for me to say I'm Fred Staub.
I'm Les Jackson.
We are going to see you down the road.
Bye.